The Biden administration will be known as the biggest propaganda machine, probably of my lifetime. I have not seen a White House with their press secretary like Karine Jean-Pierre, but also because they have such a sympathetic media that is going along with them. And if the White House comes up with a piece of propaganda, all of the media just starts marching with it. They run it out. Okay. So whatever Biden wants for his statement, the media will spread it. Whatever Trump wants to be the statement to put it out, the media will fight it. Okay. So this is part of the two-tiered justice system. This is a two-tiered media system. Welcome to Doug in Exile. We're the giant fire hose pushing back at liberal media to point out their hypocrisy, to point out the absolute lies they're telling, and to look at the right in Trump's words and promote the truth. So we are the counter argument here to mainstream media. Thank you guys for watching. Help us get over 500,000 subscribers. I hope you'll subscribe, and also hitting like and leaving a comment really helps spread this news out. Let's watch, painful as it is, Karine Jean-Pierre.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused.
Now, that's the first question, okay? I just want to repeat it for you because and that particular clip has all of the bad Biden recent gaps. Journalist queuing up Karine Jean-Pierre to send out the first piece of propaganda, which is a lie to you. He goes, would you like to comment on the Republicans and the right and the news media on the right putting out all these bad videos of Biden looking old? And then she's going to start pushing this narrative called cheap fakes, which is misinformation in and of itself.
I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more and more.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video.
The White House says there's a cheap fake problem.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated.
We're hearing about so-called cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Distorted, out of context videos, chopped up in certain ways, constructed in certain ways.
That is not a cheap fake, which I'm reporting to you, that all of these puppets, these supposed journalists that are basically just carrying the Democrat water. So the Democrat Party comes up with a new phrase, cheap fakes, and then all of the left-wing media pushes it out. Cheap fakes, cheap fakes, cheap fakes, cheap fakes. And they hope that it sticks. Now remember, Trump used the term fake news. That was not invented by Trump. That was invented by the lefty journalists that said he was promoting fake news. The right ended up taking this statement and turning it back on them and making fun of them. And Trump pointed at CNN and said, "You're fake news. You're fake news." And he ended up capturing and using that phrase himself.
They are done in bad faith.
And on this one, she is going to intent. We're only re-editing Biden and showing all of his slowest moments, all of his falls, or that he supposedly was meandering toward another parachute guy off screen, even though none of the other world leaders were curious or walking off to another parachute guy. Okay. But it is fair to say that it was edited so that the camera, they went in closer so that you can't see what Biden was heading toward, is often the case. I only want to say we're allowed to edit videos. Are you telling me that no one ever edited something on Trump to make him look bad, where they cut off a certain word, or they only clip the part where he says something on the Access Hollywood tape? They don't show you the whole interview. They're trying to make a point as if that is all he says are these crazy gaffes. So I'm only saying everyone edits, but I do not have an obligation to, in good faith, do what the Democrat Party wants. And that's what I'll show you later, that is her definition of in good faith, is to agree with them. Now, I just want to show you these headlines, okay? Because is it in your mind, are you going crazy that you think Biden is impaired? I don't just mean old, because there's 48-year-olds that are impaired. I mean Biden is impaired mentally. Now, here's the media doing their hit pieces on Trump saying he's impaired. Look, this is from 5 days ago. There's MSNBC headline: Trump cognitive decline increasingly difficult to conceal. Here's Biden. Trump's cognitive decline is very evident. You see, Ayman, Trump's campaign trail gibberish is reminiscent of the, and what they're doing is they're all bringing up now, all of the news is saying, no, Biden's not mentally impaired. Trump is. Now, Trump is sharp. I mean, he really knows the arguments and knows the news. It doesn't mean he's smart or brilliant or anything, but I mean, we know that he knows where he's at in a room. And we also can tell that Biden does not know where he is in the room. So the media is trying to now push out this other number because they think you're stupid, that you're going to think Trump is in cognitive decline compared to Biden. Here's more Karine.
And some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right wing critics of the president have a credibility problem.
And now she's pretending that we on the right are the ones that do misinformation. Here's a quick article I've looked up. This is Facebook admits the truth. Fact checks are really just lefty opinion. We've been around all the lies of the lefty fact checkers and opinion, and they are far worse at propaganda. The right does not control Facebook, doesn't control MSNBC.
Because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation.
And it was the fact checkers that pushed misinformation on COVID, the Russian collusion, on Hunter Biden's laptop. They got caught politicizing, and then they claim they're presenting facts. And that is also cheap and fake.
And so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation.
And she's trying to put this up for the branding, and we're going to spin it back on her. That's why I made this the thumbnail. They keep pretending it is cheap fakes that make you think Biden is old. And I'm saying that argument in itself is cheap and fake.
I'll quote the Washington Post, where they wrote about this, and they said how Republicans use misleading videos to attack Biden in a 24-hour period.
Oh, you poor thing. The Republican parties aren't playing fair. I wonder what we're going to do with the Democrat Party and their side. Are they going to play fair with Trump when he gets back in office? We already know what's going to happen. They're going to tell lies about Trump 24/7.
And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here.
Well, we are desperate because we do have to win. We do have to take the country back from you because you're going to screw it into the ground and blow up the world.
Instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins.
Yeah, and his drooling and shuffling and opening up the border and causing World War III and screwing our economy into the ground, that performance, does the press have an obligation to only talk about the good things the president has done, according to Karine Jean-Pierre?
What he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos, and it is, again, done in bad faith.
I think that you said that the economy was doing fine and there was no recession in bad faith, which is worse, saying Biden is impaired when he is impaired.
There's a narrative that Joe Biden is an old man, of course, and I'm not disputing that he's not 81 years old, but
we are going to separate the fact from the fiction, because there are a lot of videos going around about President Biden on social media.
These videos, I mean, they're blatant lies.
I don't know what these people are talking about, but man, they really think you and I are stupid.
They are lying to their audience,
making up and distorting things about the current president,
trying to get people to believe visuals that aren't real.
The videos are oftentimes made up.
Deceptively edited videos known as cheap fakes.
A cheap fake, at least that's what the White House calls this viral video of President Biden.
Am I dishonest when I say Biden is mentally impaired, unfit to be president? Let me know in the comments below. Am I being dishonest?
Look at him. Look at Biden. It is not true. He was fine, but they are creating this narrative.
The technology is just going to get more and more efficient at making these videos look more and more real when they're really not.
Now they're saying Biden's doing fine. He's doing jumping jacks, and he's the most spry, brilliant, funny thinker and compelling speaker. And I have told a lie to all of you that made you believe he's impaired and old. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm Doug in Exile.